Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 12 of this 30-day Living an Authentic Life Challenge. Today, we're going to have a conversation about the next level because hindsight is 2020. It takes nothing for us to take a look back over the stuff that has happened in our lives to see what was it that you experienced that you could have grown through. What did that thing come in your world to give you a lesson on? So the thing that we forget, growth requires a stretching, requires you to do something, and you cannot grow without facing challenges. Challenges in life are like the weights that you need to give you the muscles to move through, to think faster, to develop a plan of action to know that you will be okay. So I want you to take a look at your life. See what you've overcome because hindsight is 2020. The thing that we all want to do, we want to be great. Everybody talks about how they want to be great, do all these magnificent things, have their world be amazing. But here's the thing that we forget. Good has to grow into being great. And all those challenges and all those things that you have experienced has given you the element of growth that you need. So let's start with the thought process that both good and great start with a G. But from there, there's a change that has to happen. When I started thinking about this, what happened for me is to give a different perspective. If they both start with G, G can be good. But for G to get to great, you have to go through the next one. Thinking about G as gain. What are you gaining in the process in order for you to take place for good to become great? You have to transform yourself to a different perspective. What perspective do you have that will give you a different viewpoint that will get you from good to great? And then R, remember, we have to remember the things that we walk through. You cannot build new foundations if you're not clear about what you're working with. I like to use a house as an analogy for a lot of different things. One, because it is so easy to work with. And being a child in a family full of entrepreneurs. When my grandmother and my godfather were doing what they now call weekend warrior moments, renovating houses, I got a lot of perspective about some of the things that happen when you start removing walls, pulling up floors. There's a whole lot of things that's happening underneath the surface. So what does the foundation look like? You have to rebuild, but you got to remove. And if you're not clear about what it looks like, you can't do that. So you have to remember what you went through. Now, I'm not saying walk through the emotional pain. If you are still experiencing the pain each time you have a memory, get some support. Find a therapist to talk to, a support group to work with so that you can get those things out your soul. But you have got to remember what you experienced because there was a lesson in it. There's part of your foundation now. And if there's a piece that's not supporting you, you need to know that I have to pull that out. So you have to remember some things that you have experienced so that you can take the lessons and discard the rest. And then there's E, expectation. What are you expecting? The expectation that you have for good is not the same expectation that you have for great. So you have got to make some decisions about what that looks like for you. And then A, ask. Ask for the support that you need along the way. Because as you go through making some adjustments into your world to get to being great, good has to go through the transformation of asking. Asking will give you the chance to see who is available to support you. And for me, I often found that I needed the insight from a higher power in order for me to remove myself from good to get to a place of great. And then T. Here's the part. To get to T for great, there's a stretching because it's an extra letter. T stands for tolerant. You have got to be tolerant about some things in your world. Otherwise, you are not going to get the stretching that you need. And this is where I stated I needed help from a higher power. So here's something I want to leave you with. Next level notes. Those of you that know me know that next level notes are those things that help me get greater insight. And in order for you to get from good to great, hindsight needs some support. And only God can strengthen you through the process. Philippians 4:13 has been a support system to me more than I can truly express. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, if you have the belief in the God that I serve, Jesus will join you on the journey. because he realizes that you know that you cannot do this thing called life on your own. We were never designed to function alone. For those of you that read the book in the very beginning, it says that God walked with Adam in the cool of the day. If God walked with Adam in the beginning, he intends to walk with us now. And I have had to use his basic instruction book before leaving Earth to get the insight that I needed to go from good to great. So I want to encourage you, use the support that you need to get the help that you have along the way. And that leads us into a deeper discussion for day 12, next level. I encourage you to join us while we extend the conversation here on Zoom. Go to my website, tanyaehood.com. There you can click on the Work With Me tab and see the various ways that we can work with one another. And for this challenge, this is where you can go on the very first page. Click it and join, because at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be done, because these are quick snippets to give you some touch points in your life. In the meantime, this is Tanya Ehood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.